Alright everyone, welcome to Cinnis, or as we'll be calling it, Neapolis. Our goal for today is going to be to establish a modest port town, explore our surroundings so we can identify where our best opportunities for expansion lie, but also discover where our rivals or would-be allies lie. Obviously the lands before us warrant their own form of exploration. As the fog clears, we can see an enormity of rich resources at our disposal, but we mustn't be over-ambitious. Things will always be adjusted and reworked as we, discover new technologies and techniques. So we must build to serve our interests in the now, which means building a little coastal settlement before we push deeper into the island. Money, aka time, is of pressing urgency, and so we shall set out for discovery. Welcome our first residents. So I am playing with the Hall of Fame on, which means inside of our port we have Merrypath, Chromatic Surveyor, a discovery radius of 100%, increased hit points, increased movement speed for our ship. So we'll throw her over, and she has just discovered an island right next to us. So there you go. She just comes on board and she's like, right over there, actually. So let's have a look at it. Well, look at this, straight away. This is really close by. I mean, ridiculously close, really. But great, a great opportunity. Resin fertility, olive, grapes, flax, marble, and of course, obsidian, which we'll see a little bit more of later. Let's get setting sail. You know what, we'll go a bit more central. I think this is where the other rivals are going to be, so we want to be able to meet them, get our contracts up and running and going first. And we need to decide a quick layout here. So let's get started. I'm just going to go straight across, I don't know, somewhere like that. Actually, we can tuck our way all the way into the edges there. And we'll do something similar down here, maybe. About there. And then we can get started. So we're going to want to reserve a little bit of space. I'm going to pause time here because obviously, like I said, we are bleeding money for now. We're going to want to reserve space for walls and things like that. I'm thinking that we'll have a little village. So if we go into blueprint mode, we'll have a little village at the front that we know in the future is probably going to give way to some bigger walls and things like that later on. So let's just build a road up the center. Something like so. And we'll be fairly Roman, we'll be fairly grid-like early on. Let's do a couple of blocks of these guys. Let's do another one maybe there. Get a couple extra in. Just to vary it up a little bit. We'll do the same here. And there. Sweet. But it's not going to be a complete grid. We'll change things up from time to time. So let's rotate these guys a little bit. Let's get another group here. Maybe two about there. We're going to want to offset things just ever so slightly because we are going to, of course, have lots of buildings that have area of effects. So something like this. These two could probably be removed. I don't want to get too crazy though, but that's probably a decent start. If we were to bring this up, bring this across. Of course we can, I know I can wrap around, but I don't want to just do that just yet. We'll do that in future. Bring this up towards this little woodland region. Now I've actually got a technology, because we're playing with the Hall of Fame on. We're not necessarily tied to needing trees, but it will make things just a little bit quicker early on. So if we start with our woodcutter, I guess one somewhere, we'll start on this edge here. One about there. Another one roughly here. It's fine. And maybe another one here, turn sideways. Just get rid of that road for a second. We actually only get half the money back, so I gotta be careful with that. Now, if this radius comes out to here, we'll build 4 of these, or maybe just 3 for now, with a little warehouse here. So this is gonna be our lumber yard, as it were. And just to be safe, we'll just bring this down a little bit more. Get the roads around that, get these guys connected in. Get you connected over. You can connect up here now, a bit more seamlessly. And that's a little bit of a better start. So let time play. Let's get our first residents in. So we'll start with the warehouse. Start with a couple of these. These don't actually cost wood. And then get this going. That's going to hurt our workforce because we don't have enough even just for that. So we'll get our first few blocks down by the coast. We should be fine. Meanwhile, our ship is out discovering. So we found another island already. You can see the various fertilities here. Mackerel, Sandarak, I can never say it. Iron, mineral, gold, obsidian. I have tutorials off, but of course Ben Balian is going to come up and tell me what to do, which is fine. Let's link that down. We can lock these ones around. That's fine. Let's have a look at the view as well, shall we? Oh, there she is. Nothing wrong with that. Definitely nothing bad is going to happen. Ever. A nice, quaint port town with a lovely mountain in the background. That's all we're concerned about. Alright, so we've unlocked our liberty, so we can get a fishing hut now. We still have a decent amount of wood, actually, so let's continue building. And we'll just continue building a few of the houses out here, get more workforce. Remember, the priority at the moment is really to stave off the bleed of our balance. We're best equipped to do that by supplying the needs of our residents, of course. In our food category, we can deliver sardines or porridge, or both if we want, and we get the benefits of doing both if we do both. So we have a population and income boost with sardines, a population boost with porridge. On the public services side, we have the market and the tavern. It doesn't tell us what they do just yet. I'd like to think I remember, but just in case I get it wrong, I won't say. And then we have, of course, tunics and plebeians. If we satisfy the 3 needs of our liberty, we can get our plebeians. If we get our plebeians, we can begin the technology tree. Very important to get that done early, but like I said, with the Hall of Fame, we do have a couple of technologies already on, woodland rebirth being one, so trees will automatically grow around our lumberjacks. And then we have the scorpiones, the shipboard scorpions. That can help with firing things. And of course we have the Prophecies of Ash DLC, but until we get to discovering Sicilia, having 500 eques and generating at least 750 knowledge, we don't have to really worry about that. Sicilia, of course, is all the way out here with her lovely looking village.
Water and fire.
And her harbor, she is selling an olive reaper, Aulus aureus auric oak. I think I've said that right. Who's going to improve productivity of gold mines by 25%, and then by the looks of it, a further 100%, I think. But we have to pay obsidian to get these guys, so we don't have to worry about that for now. Alright, so we are still very low on timber, but we're waiting for the workforce to kind of climb up. Hey, we found Diana. Not there, but over here. Excellent. So Diana is an NPC. She is not one of our rivals, of course. She's gonna, give us quests and allow us to trade and things like that. So her warehouse or her lighthouse is here. So in 15 minutes we'll start getting contracts. We can maybe get some extra money coming in. So that's great to find her because the map is so much bigger now, of course, that we expanded it. So it's anybody's game who we'll find next. We just found Zara. Zara Nitu, our governor. A polite greeting, of course, for our rival encounter with Zara Nitu. She's going to be the one to watch out for. She's probably quite expansionist relative to the others, but she's in favor of people who are investing in research, so we can get her on our good side. Now, seize this guy's goods for 20 timber at a negative 50 happiness for an hour, or wish him well and get 10, or buy his supply for money. We don't really have any money, so I will wish him well, take the 10, and not suffer any debuff. 10 is not that much, but it's enough for now.
Fair enough.
Give us a little bit of expansion. Alright, our workforce is climbing up nicely. A little woodland industry is doing just fine. So I kind of want to, just while we're waiting on the ship to go around, keep focusing on this area and keep building it out in blueprint mode to see what else we could do. I'm thinking the tavern and market somewhere here, another tavern and a market on this side. Speaking of taverns and markets, we have just unlocked them. So let's see. I reckon a couple houses there.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
Maybe the tavern first, because that has shorter range than the market, so we'll keep that kind of closer to the coast. And the market like there. So these fit together nicely, right? Yeah. That was the plan all along, and it worked tremendously. So we'll go with the tavern. So the tavern is going to give us +1 population and 1 happiness to all buildings in effect. So you could build a tavern on top of your woodland industry, and you still get the benefits. To see that, you just click the building and you can kind of look at the active effects down here. You'll see that it actually can provide population, which is not to be confused with workforce. Of course, that is different. So we are doing just fine. Alright, we're going to be really waiting for wood all the time. We need 5 for the market. Ah, we found Concordia. Yeah, so as I assumed, most of our rivals are in the center of the archipelago. Nice greetings. So we found our 2 rivals. They're actually right next to each other, of course, so that's fine. Start expanding around the map and see who else we find. So we can have a quick look at her place.
You have been building for 2 hours. May I
2
suggest some
hours. Well, that's giving
refreshments?
things away. Yeah, I was kind of looking around for a while, looking at obsidian, looking at different options to play around with. I was actually largely in the menus for a long time. So Concordia's island is here. A fledgling little village is beginning. Very slowly, I must say. She's got 4 houses that I can see. Sorry, I need to. A little further along. Already at plebeian? Okay. Okay. We'll have to catch up. Let's continue building.
Our scouts have
I'll just
sighted
fill in the
new
gaps
land.
around our beneficial buildings before expanding any further. This is actually so far, we're not even reaching these. The plan is to have another set over on this side, so we'll start implementing that now. So, yeah, like a tavern here, I guess. Market then in front of that. Go with another 6. In fact, we could probably squeeze 2 more here. And if we go 1 there, we can have a building
Our scouts have
around
sighted
all of this.
new land.
Like the felter or something that should fit in there quite nicely. And this can make sure everyone's joined up in the middle. And that kind of breaks up the grid a little bit to make things look a little bit nicer. I always like to try and do that. Bring this across. We'll do another augmenter or kind of area of effect building right there, I guess. This here, would that be alright? Let's see, why not? Maybe we can cut this now. Governor Villa is going to have to go in here somewhere as well.
Kaiso Syracuse. We deal in acquisitions and human relations, in a manner of speaking.
Queso. Oh, Queso. Right, so he is... Where was that?
Restless raiders roam
Ah,
the
very
seas.
south.
If
Very,
anyone
very
here
south
is
on the map.
friendly,
Okay, I
it
wonder is he
certainly
always in a
not
corner?
them.
Because he was in my previous playthrough, actually. So we don't have to worry about him. Luckily. Let's just get out of the way and continue up the coast. And I'll probably pause time and have a look around all these different islands, see what's a good candidate. You know, obviously we've got some islands really close to us. Like this one is just right across from us. That other one was right next to us as well. So those are good candidates, but they're kind of small. So if we can find a decent sized, large-ish island, not too far away, that'd be good to grab. But they might all be more central. It might be the case that the expansion of the map with this DLC has really just given us some smaller volcanic islands around which to colonize. Alright, let's go with that market like I said. And we could probably go with the other market on this side and we'll start developing out and around here. You can see how fast we're just bleeding through money. We've only got 6,000 left. We can go into debt a little bit though. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so I'm just thinking of how we want to expand further out this way. So another block of maybe 4 here, because we'll do what we did earlier. And then maybe another block here. I don't know. 8, I suppose. Might leave that as something that we can cut across this way.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
And this could probably become a bridge in the future, so just go all the way out to there. But we need more wood and stuff like that. Yeah, we still have the fish and everything. Look at this guy. Look at this place. Sun is shining. Everything's great. Everyone's so happy. Brand new town. Nothing to worry about. A fresh Anno game is a really beautiful thing because you don't have all this pressure of a billion islands complaining to you all the time about all the different problems you have. Things are kind of more calm at this point in the game, which is nice. Right. Just thinking what could go there. Maybe the fire station actually could go there. That could be good. I can't remember quite how big it is, but I think it fits. Yeah, I think that would fit. Maybe Governor Villa just somewhere up here for a while before we expand further back. Let's keep getting more people though. The workforce is looking great, but I want more. And we need to start thinking about doing the contracts for various people. Would Concordia or Zaranitu have one yet? They probably all want you to wait about those 15 minutes. Yeah. It's great that we found them, because we can do that. We're only missing Valeria at Lilibeon now.
Keep your nose out of Syra, Governor.
I will warn you about trading in my province. Thank you. Gaius Agrippa Neapolis. Ah, speaking of Neapolis. That's what we will refer to this place as from now on. And did we name our ship? The ship is going to be named the Caesar. We just found Valeria. That was extremely lucky. Oh yeah, nice. I mean, it's lucky in one way that we found her. it's unlucky in the fact that she is miles away from our island. So we'll just continue around the outer edges, and now we can just fill in the center. So there's probably 2 empty islands in the center, right? There's usually 4 in the archipelago. We're off in the corner, so that's going to leave 1 empty. And then the other guy, Ether Gorwin, is in Albion, so that's going to leave another 1 empty. So there's going to be 2 big islands in the center. We have to grab at least 1.
Our scouts have
I feel like that's important. So we'll have to see how much that costs us. Alright, let's keep the day nice and bright. And keep filling in more things. I mean, do we go with even more construction? Maybe. It's probably our biggest limiting factor, but it does cost more and more money. I want to start getting some production chains up and running now, right? We've only got just a little bit of fish. We'll get another one here on the other side. Eventually we'll get a technology that will give houses near fisheries will give us money. So it's quite good building a little coastal town to begin with. And really, we want these probably spread out a bit further. Oh, and interesting, yeah, I guess the coast doesn't actually go up all this way. I didn't notice that. That's okay, though. We would put it maybe somewhere like there would be perfect. But yeah, we'll get to all that. Okay, so, what else could we do? So there is a river slot here. If we were to join this on in a sort of diagonal, maybe that would look good there. And, so this is the type of thing where I'm going to pause now, and I'm going to go over a sort of layout here, and try to fill this in with some industry. So what we're ultimately looking at now is we want an oat farm that's going to then go into a porridge stand. There's no area of effect for these things, so keeping them on the outskirts is totally fine. And putting farms generally against uneven terrain is usually good to make use of the grid a little bit better. However, the tunics, the spinner building does give an income bonus of 2. So that's what I was kind of reserving. Like, I was leaving gaps here on purpose. So a spinner right here, perfect, right? Throw that in. Loads of houses are covered. 67 buildings. So that's plus 67 income, as long as this building is firing and working. Another one maybe over here could be fine. The other one, the kind of sister to that, is the Peleus Felter. So it uses the livestock farm, the sheep farm. And that's 1 income and 1 happiness. Sorry, that's for needs, but the area effect is 1 income, so it's still kind of the same thing. So 48 affected buildings right there. Seems fine to me. I'll tell you what we do even in this spot, kind of what we did over in the other spot, which is connect this across here. We can't fill that in, can we? No. If we fill that in, then this house wouldn't be reached, so we'll have to leave a gap, but we could put a cistern or something there in the future. And obviously things are subject to change and move around all the time, especially when I'm playing. But happy enough with that. So if we just have a look at this again, if we... Oh, we can't until it's actually built. Yeah, as a blueprint, it's not telling me where it is. That's okay, though. Yeah, I thought it did. So it's there, right? The Peleus filter is there. Felter. I keep saying filter. Felter, and the spinner's there. Then we've got another spinner here. So we need another felter on the other side. Oh, yeah. Here. Perfect. How about that? And then we can connect this across to here somewhere. Because why not? Maybe even like that. Looks kind of good. Connecting our industries up. So I would imagine maybe more houses along the coast, possibly. Although we'll probably go deeper rather than wider as we work our way back and up the hills. And then, yeah, I'm just going to work on this area now a little bit. Let's figure out what we can put in. I'm pretty confident that, like, somewhere here, a warehouse, and then we'll build in from here and try to fill all this with sort of, different farmland. Alright, first little time lapse of the series, and it is just a small one. Of course, in the future, our farmland here is going to be pushed further and further into the island, or out to the edges of the islands is usually the best places for these things. And eventually, probably off island as well, unless we really need the space for more food. So we'll see how we get on with that. So, you might notice the music is going mental in the background. That was my fault. I made a note to make sure I turn off the music when I know that I'm doing a time lapse, and I forgot to. I decided to keep it in because it is satisfying hearing the clicks and putting down farms and stuff. Like, that is a good noise. It's just when the music comes on, it's a bit weird. So I'll fix that in future, but that was just something I wanted to note here. So what have we got here? I know it's all blueprints. Again, that's another little problem of being early on in the game. We don't have that much money, but in future we can actually see these things. So for now, just know that we've got 3 hemp farms. That's what I'm building right now. We have 2 oat farms that are up against the riverbank, and then we have a couple of sheepfold in there, and the storehouse. So I'm pretty happy with this. It managed to fit pretty nice. Alright, so there we have it. Obviously it doesn't look like much right now, but as mentioned, we have our oat farms, we have our hemp farms and sheep. as well as the porridge stands and everything to refine that stuff. So we can kind of get to work on that now. We'll start with the actual warehouse, and then maybe we'll just start small. Start with our very first oat farm. So basically that's going to take a minute to produce one, and this will take a minute to consume one and refine it into porridge. But being right next to each other should be nice and quick, and then the porridge stand will have to deliver to the warehouse. Obviously it doesn't quite matter. Distance doesn't really matter overall for time, and just in terms of getting started it does. But this is quite nice, right next to the water. Look at this. Beautiful. We could turn off those flags. Beautiful. Idyllic. As for what we'll do here, I didn't really think about it, but actually we've got a river slot, so we could have turned this into a flour mill. If we, in future, maybe change this to be a wheat farm, or build another wheat farm along here, the flour mill could then refine that grain. Or grind it up. So that'd be nice. Alright, next up then is maybe we'll start with the sheep, so we can get our felters going. And then the hemp farm. Super good. I might actually see, would it look better to flip? No, that looks good the way it is, with the road kind of going in and around there. Let's do a sell order of all of our stuff. So if we say that we want to all goods, sell all goods after we go over 65. So if we store more than 65, we'll do some passive trade. It's pretty basic stuff. Okay, so we should have our first bits of porridge coming along, and if we check our statistics screen, something I'll do often in this series, we go to consumer goods, and if the green line is bigger than the white line, then we know we're in business, we're fine. Well, it gets a bit more granular than that, of course, if you look at production statistics and breakdown over time, but for now all we really care about is the green higher than the white, and it is right now for both. That means we're producing more than we need. So that's all that matters right now. And we've just unlocked the Vigilés. So our city status has increased. So again, we're at level 2 right now. This is another feature. Obviously, I'm just mentioning this stuff for anyone that may be new to the game. Obviously, if you've watched me before, you'll know this stuff. But reaching higher levels of city status gives you more and more negative effects and more punishing negative effects. It's basically a... So we've just run out of money. I'll just continue. It's okay. I think we'll be fine. Now, what do you got for me? Hindrance mechanic. That's the word I was trying to think of. It's a classic hindrance mechanic. If you ever played like something like Total War Rome 2, the bigger you get in a game like that, all these different mechanics come into play, like empire maintenance, and it's just ways of taxing players to try and figure out how to deal with it. If they did that from the beginning, it'd be way too punishing to ever grow. So they do it later on, so that at least you have a nice stable way of growing, you can get familiar with the mechanics, and then you can kind of deal with it with other buildings that you can then afford. Anyways, Libertas quest. Governor, rescue my cousins from the Syracusans.
There's been a raid at sea. It's Kaiso. He's sunk an innocent ship minding its own business. Some of my cousins were on it. Please, stop them from being taken as slaves.
Yeah, that's a quest we actually got before, and that's going to be a really difficult one to do. You have to destroy 2 triremes, which is fine. That's actually not too complicated. But then later it asks you to invade his port, and even after many hours, I never did that. So we'll see if we get to it this time around. All right, so we have our hemp farm and we have our sheepfold, but we haven't actually built the buildings that use that stuff yet. So we have our spinner. That's going to use the hemp farm, and remember from before, of course, this is going to give us a bonus area of effect around us. 66 buildings are affected, 1 income, so it's going to give us nice income. But it's not until this thing actually goes ahead, picks up its load from the warehouse, brings it back, deposits it in, then the building can actually get started, and then we finally get the effect. So we should see income coming up in just a moment. For now, let's also just
Lady Faustina will give him a decent funeral.
Put down some grass or something just to fill these patches in. Similarly, over here, we have the Police Felter. I think this is a nice spot for it as well, near a market and everything. You can kind of imagine these things would go together, so I always like building them in and around the markets that we have. We still got a lot of wood now, so I'm also just going to speed up a little bit, build the other one that was over here, and the other spinner. Let's continue building more production. So that's the next hemp farms. I don't actually think we need the sheep, and we'll do more forage because we're just going to be expanding and needing it soon anyway. And let's just build as many houses as we can. Alright, so I've spent all my wood yet again. Population is now up to 283, and if we have a look at everything we're providing, we're just starting to maybe creep in on the tunics and Peleus once these buildings start firing, like I mentioned.
still empty.
We've also just unlocked our Vigiles. That's going to be our firefighter. So I said that it would fit in here. Yeah, good spot for it, I think. And we'll do another one maybe out by this side so we protect our production. And maybe another one out by this side so we protect our production out here. Might be wise. Something like that. So you can get right in there. Actually, you're on the corner right now anyway, so I guess you can pretty much reach all these. You can't reach the further in ones, but the chances of them catching fire, hopefully low. This is one of the ships that we have to take down. I'm just avoiding them for now. I'm sure we could take it in a trireme down, no problem. But let's start taking on some quests, contracts. So collect a crate for 1,363, or provide timber. We kind of need the timber. If we do 2 crates, we get 1,500. It's very minimal extra amount of money, but it might be worth doing. This is a lot more per crate though, and it's actually, let's just do this one because we can get it done nice and quick, right? If it's just one thing. Hopefully it's not in a terrible spot. Somewhere here in the center. So let's go straight after that one. That'll give us a small cash injection. Let's have a look at the others. So Zara Nitu's lighthouse. Ooh, a different type of contract. Protect a trireme for 3,000. Yeah, I think so. That'd be good to do. That's a good amount of money. Again, though, just find a crate for 1,000. I just don't know if I can protect a trireme. And how long do I have to protect it for? Let's check out Concordia. So she wants me to destroy a pentaconter. That's a small ship for 1,700. Yes, absolutely. Let's do that. We'll have to find that one. That is pretty close to me right now. We're just over here. It's just over there. So let's go. Hunt that ship down. We have scorpions on the ship. We have Meri Path, increasing our hit points and favorable wind angle, so should be able to deal with it no problem. Yeah, question is, should we do that with Zara Nitu? I'd be really upset if I failed it. It would make her unhappy. I want to make her happy. I'd rather maybe just get the crate and keep it easy. We'll have other protection quests in the future. It is good money though. A part of me thinks, you know, map's bigger, depending on where she wants to go, it could be rough. Especially if multiple things attack, so let's just do the crates, keep it simple. These refresh then after we do them in a certain amount of time. And then finally we have Lily Bay on here. Find crates again, 1 crate, 2 crates, or deliver 10 sardines. I'd say let's go with the sardines on that one. We can make that happen.
We stand waiting.
Alright, let's anticipate where they're heading. I haven't seen combat since the patch. I actually didn't read the notes to see if combat was affected really at all. I imagine not too much. Scorpions, good hits. Arrows are in. Nice. Easy peasy, easy money. This will bring us out of the red probably just about temporarily. That we have to try and make money. We're only losing 150 though now. We're slowly clawing our way out of it. See if we can pick that up and bring it back to whoever needed it. Hopefully we'll start healing as well soon. Pick up the fish and then we'll roll back out. Now, should we be building any fire safety? I kind of feel like we'll just have to deal with it. You know, we don't have the luxury of the money to build fire safety, but we can now actually upgrade to plebeians. So let's begin.
I think, dear husband, we have found our sacred center.
Alright, there we go. The first plebeians are in. This place looks awesome. It's just a tiny little port town, but I like it. It's not complete grid. It's grid-ish. But we've got some gaps. We've got pretty good coverage of things. You know, I'm quite happy with the coverage. In fact, this will tell us where we're not covering. We're not covering the 3 port buildings down here, but every residence, oh, except that one, has actually been covered by a Police Felter. And if we have a look at the spinner, we have a very similar situation for the spinner, except just 3 houses down here that don't have coverage. But that's okay. You know, we're only losing a tiny bit of income. It's pretty good placement, all things considered. And workforce is really high. We have our first plebeian. So we were able to do that, of course, because we have leveled these all up. They have almost full needs fulfilled, or fulfillment. Doing so, we have 5 liberty living here, and half of that is given to us as workforce that we can use to deploy in buildings. But now we've leveled them up, and they've become plebeians, which means they're not liberty anymore, so we need a new type of workforce to work other types of buildings later. Doing so now has unlocked a bunch of things, right? We have our Governor Villa, so we'll slam that in somewhere just here. As I said, it's a somewhat temporary placement because I imagine we'll move it further back in a more optimal place later. But right now, everything that goes inside this is going to affect every, in the radius here. So we want to have it pretty close to our houses right now. So tile production. So we need to find a clay pit. Oh, we need clay is at the river slots, isn't it? I think. And then set up a tiler and charcoal burning. Then we can start working on bread. So the wheat farm that I mentioned, maybe doing the grain mill at the river slots, or at least a river slot, and a bakery. And then the garum. So this is a Scombutter's shack. We actually have mackerel here, so we are golden on that. Salt can be brought up anywhere, right? And then garum. So yeah, that should be an easy one to get the plebeians started. Does our ship come back? It's just pulling in now. And we want to pick up 10 sardines, if we have them. We have 11. Let's drop those 2 back in. Alright, great. So let's make our way. So where do we have to go first? Let's just get moving anyway, because it's going to be long distances now with the increased map size. So pick up the Flotsam. That one's in the middle of nowhere. For Zara need to. Where's her one? That's nearby, actually, but we can't pick them up right now because we're full. We've destroyed the ship, so the first place to go is here, Concordia. You let me know when you get there. Excellent. Alright, everything's going swimmingly, I would say, except for the money situation, but that's okay, it's kind of anticipated. But population-wise, super happy. And we're starting to get our plebeians in. We could actually check, do the plebeians earn more per household right now? 7, and then right now the Liberty are also earning 7, so it's not like a massive incentive to increase just yet. We are just a little low on tunics. I am making more hemp than we need, actually. I've got 3, but we've only got 2 tunics buildings, spinners, so 1 there, 1 here. So out here we would affect the industry over this side a little bit. If I place it about there, that affects all of these buildings just for a little extra income. And they'll just pull out of the warehouse, fill this, and start making more. So that should be fine for us. Just kind of, I want to be careful in expansion and not do things that I'm going to regret. Because I could easily just slam grids down. Now there is markets and taverns here, so we obviously have room pretty much like right around this kind of location. So that's good. Let's do just 1 group there. That's probably it for expansion for a little while. Yeah. Alright, so let's looking to getting tiles up and running. Oh, we've also unlocked the Custodia. Might be good to have that near the villa, actually. Keep them in line, keep them in check. So that one's here. Pretty good coverage, misses down by the coast a little bit, so actually might be better positioned somewhere like that, near the fire safety. Fire safety's there, so maybe here.
Scouts have sighted new land.
Pretty good coverage as well. I think we may be missing a little bit just in the middle, but once we get stone roads, they'll be okay. Yeah. Alright, so the next thing then, I'm being very slow with it, is the clay. So clay is at river slots. Clay doesn't actually have a negative. Okay, we'll place it here then. Doesn't need to be the grain mill, that's okay. And start putting the plebeians to work. So that was 4 plebeians. And then a tiler. So what do we got? 30 seconds, and then tiler's 1 minute. Tiler does hurt fire safety. So doing that somewhere further away would be ideal. So we could start to just build up and away from this location. Okay, so they're going to need a warehouse. Picking this area because there's trees here already for the charcoal. Yeah, it's going to have the negative no matter what, really. So we'll just have to deal with that. And I know we have the technology, I think, that we plant the trees, so it's not a problem. I was just making sure that's out of the radius. Yeah, so that's fine. This is here, and then the 2 tilers can go up here as well. Yeah, sure. So that clay should be able to reach these buildings, and this can reach these buildings. So everything can reach, and then just the output goes in here. Alright, so we just need more plebeians before we commit to that, really. Our ship is also just rang its bell. It's reached the location, Concordia. Pay up, thank you.
I sincerely hope this is not a flirtation.
Let's head to Valeria, and then we'll go find the other things. We still have a good amount of time left, 19 minutes, I think it's okay. So we're going to deliver our 10 sardines. Just want to make sure that is correct. It's just 10. Yep. Excellent. All right. So let's continue with our plebeians. All right. So we got up to 20 now, right now. All right. We'll just start with a modest 1 tiler. Or can we afford it? How many people work this on? It's only 5. Oh, okay. There we go, no problem. So, religion. We do have a new god, right? A new deity that we can have a look at, which is Vulcan. Increased production of basically metals, or things you pull out of the earth. Coal, gold, iron, tin. Was tin in the game before? Yeah, I think so. Minerals, marble, granite block, and limestone. Uncut marble. So increases those production, and then firebrand. Residences grant more workforce. Wow, that's pretty powerful actually. But we can't set a patron just yet. So to discover them, it's it's an unlock of the new technology tree, I guess. So we could choose one right now. We could choose series, maybe. Increased production of sardines, garum, oyster, cockle, seashells. Newly constructed ships are more durable. Not going to see the effect of that for a while. Let's go with series then. It's the population boost one. We just can't get too comfortable with it because I'd like to change it in future. So that's going to improve the bread, flour, wheat chain. All of these chains get improved. Then also all residences get additional population.
Prolific ships. May our soils reap ripely in your care.
All right, she's loving it.
Ere?
A manacled woman is escorted into your presence. She's guilty of violating the law of majesty, claiming to be a goddess and gathering flowers. The Empire is very touchy about such claims, but the woman insists that she and her people pose no threat. Emperor dislikes this. I want to do whatever he likes. He likes this one a lot. Executor? Damn. So, the law of majesty is applied for 4 hours. A -2 to happiness. I'm sorry, but we gotta make the Emperor happy. She's being executed.
Only time will tell.
We can handle the negative happiness for a little while. Right, we're at Valerian, or Valeria's. Let's chat. 1,500 money. Okay, we're only at -500 now. If we get these other quests done in not too long, we should be good. And back in the black for a little while anyway. We're now making tiles, albeit very slowly, of course. I'd like to increase that as much as we can, so that we can start building a bit quicker, right? So we're closing in on what we need for the villa, at least. Yeah, and the police, the actually, the Vigiles requires tiles. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I thought it was just the Custodes. Okay. Yeah, not going to get those for a while. All right, let's have a look.
Our scouts have sighted new land.
So we're going to need bread and garum. We're going to also need a sanctuary and grammaticus. And then we'll get the sandals and soap. That's what's on the cards for these guys to level up, as well as amphore and olive oil. The amphore is going to require the resin. And there is an island right next to us with resin, so it might be a good first candidate. So here. Nice, look at this place. It's really coming together. What did that say, by the way? New options available. Barracks. And we finally have the sanctuary. So there we go. You can actually have a nice view of it now. Yeah, this is what, oh, it would almost perfectly fit here if we just closed the gap between these houses. Which I'd be okay with. Very limited range on this, though. The Grammaticus sucks for range. Somewhere like there might be good, but that would require moving other things. So I'll have to think about this between episodes. I'll have a little look around and then we can commit to it. But this will get our tech started and get it moving finally, which would be nice. So yeah, we'll have to move things out. We don't have cobble-locked roads yet either, so that's going to just take a while. But we do now have access to the barracks, the palisade, the gates, towers. I did say this time around we'd like to do a little bit more with the military, so I'll endeavor to do that. Just pick this up, and then I'll just queue up getting the last piece, and then we'll probably wrap it up. Alright, then we can drop these off at Concordia and Zaranitu, and that'll be GG. Oh, actually, sorry, Zaranitu and Diana, wasn't it? Yes. Alright, so far so good for Gaius Agrippa. We're actually positive money as well. Feels good, man. And we've just about made enough. Oh, we're just lacking a little bit of wood to get the villa done. I'd like to just get that built, and then we can call it as well. This always happens to me where I'm like, just one more thing to do, and then we'll wrap it up. But looking good. Loving the production area here. Really nice. Compact. Pretty efficient. Using the space fairly well. I was thinking if we did bring these modules out here, it would free up a little bit more space here. And I don't know, you could put like some monuments or something as we build this bridge across to give people good fortune as they go deeper into the island. I keep saying island. Is this an island? Maybe. Kind of looks like one. Certainly has a bay that goes all the way in and around. No, it's not an island. It is connected at the back, yeah, so it is Neapolis. For us, anyway. Alright, let's get that done. Boom, Governor Villa is in.
Do not say I'm not practical.
And now we can go with markets in range will give us extra income. So -6 income right now, 2.
Ready to earn, boss?
Plus 200 pretty much. Ready to earn, boss. The belief area of effect around sanctuaries and phantoms, we don't have that in yet. And then workforce for liberty and waiters. So liberty. There we go. He's further bringing down the happiness though, this guy. Little bit on the negative side. But we're up to 182 workforce now. So pretty happy about that. We'll just throw this guy into the next slot because knowing we'll build a sanctuary, we'll get that extra belief anyway.
Rejoice, Governor. Your city shall be saved.
Alright. Gonna call it there. I'll just queue up going here so I know what to do. And that's gonna be it for this first episode. So our fledgling little town has been built. We've reached plebeian. And now I want to plan out the next expansion area so I can kind of really figure out where's the wheat fields going to go, the bakery, the sanctuary, and the grammaticus. And then we can kind of, yeah, build maybe up in this area and start expanding it a bit more. I think I will invest in more wood. We've obviously got really strong workforce. Money's now a little bit better. So a little bit more wood on the go would be nice just to keep us building all the time. And ideally, do the same for tiles, you know, another clay deposit maybe like right here, another couple of tilers. That one charcoal kiln should be enough for everything, I think. Yeah, so it's really just the workforce, but we've got a bit more plebeians now, so I think we could do that too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the founding of Neapolis. I think we're off to a pretty good start. Let me know what you think in the comments below of this slightly modified format of the series compared to previously, or if you just enjoyed the video generally, please do let me know what you think, or if you didn't, let me know what I could do better, what you'd like to see me focus on more. And while you're at it, please do like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't. Feedback is feedback, I would appreciate it. And as well as that, if you really want to support the series, you can of course become a channel member and get videos early. And you also greatly make your view go very far by doing that. It's like $1 is equivalent to about 800 views. So people who pay 2, 3, 5 or whatever the amount might be, you make it go very far. So I really do appreciate that, but no pressure. Liking the video is free, so I would appreciate people who could just do that, especially for the first episode of a series. It's always really helpful. That's going to be it from me. Suggestions welcome on what you'd like to see me focus on in the future build, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.